Need to make sure I'm heard. Probably not though, because I'm probably turned on. No, I'm not. That's fine. Let's go, 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 go. Oh. Just give me a sec, guys, just while I catch up with the stream. So yes, good evening and welcome to TNRL Sim Racing. This is season 2 of the championship, and it is also the penultimate round of the championship here at Silverstone for round number 11 of the championship, and it is going to be a very good one this evening because the championship fight is becoming very vastly popular amongst the drivers, and probably what's been said in the paddock over the last couple of weeks. Yes, and it is hoppers in the commentary box as per usual. Good morning or good evening or good afternoon depending on where you are watching the stream around the world, guys. Welcome, and grab a drink and grab something to eat because you do not want to miss this one, because it is going to be very close and personal. I'm just going to turn the volume back up now so I can hear the stuff, but yes, it is going to be very close here at Silverstone for the penultimate round of the championship. It seems to be just going into certain bits and pieces. Just give me a second. Just while I grab the championship table. They're currently just doing free practice at the moment, so it gives us a chance to test the variation camera rolls, etc., and discuss the championship table. Obviously next week, or whenever they decide, is the season finale at Suzuka in Japan, and I believe that is going to be a nail-biting end to what has been a very interesting season within the likes of obviously starting off at Bathurst, then going to, I believe it went to, I'm just trying to remember where it went, Donington, Kyalami, then Imola, followed by Alton Park, Zolder, Snetterton, Laguna Seca, Paul Ricard, as well as the Nürburgring, as well as here tonight at Silverstone, and then obviously rounding out the season in Japan at Suzuka. So yes, it is looking likely that we may see a champion as of the next round at Suzuka, the final round of the championship, but championship leader and reigning champion Stefano Marchetto is not around this evening, so that is probably going to most likely give Ash the chance to jump up, depending on how well he does this evening. Obviously it's going to take into consideration with drop scores, etc., but it may give Ash an outside chance to jump back into the race, the championship lead, should I say. Excuse me, because Ash is currently on 164, whereas Stefano Marchetto is on 166. And we got obviously Adam Foster on 158, so he's not far behind. So if Adam or Ash have a good result here tonight, it could potentially propel them thereabouts to fight for the championship, and probably most likely drop Stefano Marchetto down the order before the drop scores get taken into account. So obviously it is going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen for this evening. Obviously, you know, with the pro standings, just to jump in just into pro, it looks like obviously Ash may take the pro championship lead, or Adam Foster could take the pro lead. It depends on exactly how well things go for them both this evening. So you know, it's going to be very weird, and it's going to be thereabouts to see how well they do. Obviously, you know, into the AM standings, just quickly briefly onto this, you know, there's around, worked out 6 points in it between the likes of I may have added it up wrong though, may have done or may have not, but between Dean Helix and of course Clenough, there's 6 points between them. I believe that's exactly the margin, plus drop scores in AM class. So you know, Damien's currently on 83 and Clenn's on 77, so you know, Clenn needs to have a good result here to make sure exactly he is going to be 100% behind, well, trying to get the AB class title. He's just told me he's no good round here. Well, I don't think he's that bad round here, but you know, he's told me he's a bit he's a bit worried about how tonight's going to go because of obviously being in contention to win the AM class for season 2. But it's going to be very close to see how well things are going to happen. We do have roughly thereabouts, but looking at the times at the moment, it's in the 1:59s, late 1:59s, near enough 2 minutes around here at Silverstone. They're actually using the old start line for the start. It just seems exactly it's going to be very close to see how well they're going to adapt. I believe the weather is going to look fantastic this evening. It's actually going to be quite warm as we go into the penultimate round of the season. We'll see how well things go. We're just double checking to make sure that we do have any comments or not, but I'll go through the track map and we'll go through exactly each corner and we'll go who's on around here for this evening. It looks like we are going to be on course for what is going to be a fantastic night of racing, as the guys have already just seen that 2 people watching with 1 comment. Good evening, Ash. Thank you, mate. Quickest lap of the week is a 59.0 flat. Ooh, that's quite interesting, mate. How are you feeling about tonight? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Or are you 50-50, mate? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. If I don't see your comment, I do apologise. I'm going to get the track map up in a minute so I can do a guided lap. So if I don't see your reply, I do apologise, mate. But yes, it is good to be back. Can we please have tonight, guys, just to help the guys out, around 10 likes if possible, just to help the guys at TNRL Sim Racing out. It will help them massively, most likely help me boost my confidence back into commentary, and it will be thereabouts to see how well things go. Obviously you can just see how well the Silverstone, if you're new to Silverstone, it is obviously changed within the Grand Prix, etc. But it is a fantastic circuit. I must admit, I've never been, but maybe I should. But to do it virtually is very amazing. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen. We'll go with Adam Foster. We'll go on board with the McLaren, the 420 McLaren, as he's about to go through the latter half of the lap. So hopefully he doesn't go into pit lane, otherwise I will have to choose a new driver. But let's see exactly what he's going to do then. So he's firing his way out of Woodcote, then down to the start finish line, the old start finish line that they will be using. So he's going to be going across the line now. It looks like he's done 59.8, so into Cops Corner he goes then for a quick sort of lap here. It's going to be very careful into Maggots and Beckett's, then quite an overlap circuit here just to reiterate how close it goes in towards Chapel, and it's going to be very close to see how well he does. Clips the curbs thereabouts onto the apexes, down the hanger straight he goes then, which is going to be very close. The hanger straight is probably going to be one of the closest battles we're going to have, because they're going to go down the straight in towards Stoke Corner, and it seems to be like the good old days of Formula 1. Obviously the F1 pit lane is the right hand side of what they normally use, but into Vale he goes. It's going to be very careful not to clip them sausage curbs too much, because he doesn't want to hit them and then potentially ruin his lap time there. But obviously into Club he goes then, across the pit F1 start finish line. Into Abbey then, it's going to be down to 4th gear thereabouts, but on take 5th on the exit. Or is he just taking it slow there? In towards Farm he goes. I think this is where he's going to be. Yes, he is. And then obviously it is going to be around towards the Wellington Straight. Obviously the National Straight, if you prefer it back in the old days, back onto the National Loop, what would be if you're on the national part of the Silverstone G circuit. And then obviously into Brooklands then. So he's going to be breaking down to 2nd. Seems to be pushing, he's a bit down on his time at the moment, going into Luffield. but he's going to obviously try and push that McLaren all the way. So is he going to push for another lap? No, he abandons that lap, so he jumps into pit lane then. So he's abandoned that lap time thereabouts. So hopefully I will try and remember the corner names throughout the stream. If I don't, then please do forgive me. That's why I do have the track map. Should be at the great battle at the front. Yeah, I hope so, mate. I hope the battle for the front is going to be thereabouts. Adam has a few tenths on him, aiming for a podium and do something with the strategy. That's the thing, mate. You got to get. It's down to the strategy, isn't it? It's down to your setup, and it's down to the strategy. It's exactly that throughout the race. Obviously, the race is an hour and a half, and it's a long way to go. And it seems to be, you know, certain things. Obviously, you've got Sean making his second race appearance of the season in the Ferrari. It's changed colours. It's now a red and I think it's a luminous green mirrors. I'm not too sure whether it's just a bright green or just a normal green, but it looks very nice, I must admit. Just a very basic red Ferrari with green mirrors and green spoiler. But yes, it's going to be very close. Malolven back in the 93 Audi R8. I believe there's a couple of guys missing tonight, so the likes of Dario and Stefano are missing. I believe Adam Postlethwaite is also missing. There's quite a lot of drivers, obviously. Hopefully they're back for the season finale next week, which would be very good, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen. It is going to be thereabouts as Bart and of course Dean Helix just exit pit lane, so we'll see how well these guys get on for round number 11. It doesn't seem like the season has just near enough ended. It's going to be thereabouts just to push on. Obviously, you know, it is going to be fantastic. So, you know, who knows exactly what's going to happen tonight. There may be some fireworks, because obviously the likes of Stefano Marchetto, championship leader, not here. It could mean that obviously the likes of obviously Ash and of course Adam Foster pushing the way up to get the sort of times they want to be, and it looks like at the moment Sean currently has got himself up in second for free practice with a 2 minutes point 3, so he's not far behind. He's only 0.51 of a second, so you know that Ferrari could be playing a factor into the championship battle. You know, it could stop the likes of Ash and Adam Foster getting to where they want to be if we're not careful. But it's going to look very interesting to see how well people go. But yeah, it's great to be back commentating. It's great to be doing things we enjoy doing. But obviously, you know, it is going to get very interesting probably at Suzuka, because you know the guys are obviously going to take drop scores into account. But you know, is it going to be thereabouts to say, you know, there's going to be a lot of, I'm not going to say contact, but I think there's going to be a lot of rumours in the paddock that certain drivers are probably going to be wary of each other, should we say, going into Suzuka next time out. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. So far Sean's doing quite well in that Ferrari. He seems to be adapting quite well. I believe with making his debut last week, you know, he did have a bit of an issue at the Nürburgring, I think, because of the conditions changing when it got to the halfway point, and it didn't seem to faze him. No, he seems to come back for another race, which is good to see. And I must admit, the 23 Ferrari is suiting, going a bit wide at Copse Corner. You've got to be careful that you don't go too wide over there, because it can be a lot of track limits. Obviously, you know, it is a fast flowing circuit at the moment. The track is fast conditioned, so we've got highs of 23 degrees in the air as Dean Helix has gone off at I can't remember which that corner that is, going down the Hanger Straight, should I say, but I think Sean's about to head into pit lane. So yes, he has. So we'll see what Ash is doing in the Bentley. Obviously the Bentley is quite the strongest car at the moment, but I think the Ferraris have come on quite a bit, the McLarens as well, thereabouts. You know, Clenough got 6th place last time out of the Nürburgring due to a penalty with someone else. But I believe that was going into Chapel where Damien had gone off. So yeah, it's going to be very close, probably thereabouts. But we'll see how well people go tonight round here. So free practices only got 23 minutes left. Then it gets into 10-minute qualifying session. It's going to be thereabouts for a very interesting. I think it was 10 minutes. I'm not too sure. Was it 10 or 15? Just bear with. I think it was actually 15. I've got another thing in my head. I keep thinking it's 10. Yeah, it's 15 minutes, so I do apologise. It's not 10 minutes, it's 15 minutes of qualifying. I've got other things in my head thinking it was 10, so, but nevertheless, it is going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. The Bentley should have a bit of the upper hand, but according to Ash, he said there's going to be great battles up the front. I think there will be great battles regardless, wherever you look on the field. Obviously it's going to be thereabouts. Obviously Bart's back in the Audi, you know, nice to see him back pushing on. You know, he did quite some interesting moments at the Nürburgring last time out. I think, you know, pushing that black and orange Audi R8 to its degree. Evening, Luke. Bentley should be strong here. See, that's something I need to know. I need to know quite a lot of things, you know. Whether the what cars are going to be well round here, but personally I think the Bentley, you know, just the likes of Stefano Marchetto when he raced it last season round here, it seemed to be strong. But it should be interesting. I believe you're coming back, mate, from what I've heard, so hope to see you back on track, mate. You know, we'll see exactly what's going to happen, but as I say, it's going to be very close between the likes of Adam Foster and of course Ash, because both British manufacturers on home soil is probably going to be thereabouts. But it's going to be quite a lot of drivers that may put in some close proximity racing within the, obviously you've got the likes of the Audis at the moment, obviously Malolven and of course Bart trying to push on quite a bit, you know, it seems thereabouts. But we'll see what Adam can do in the McLaren. He seems to be, I think he said he was in a lot of pain after playing football, so he's trying to make sure he doesn't push himself too hard, because he doesn't want to injure himself too much. But we know what Adam's like. He's a feisty racer. He knows exactly how to win races. He's done very well. He won the race at, I believe, did he win the race at Paul Ricard? I can't remember in the wet. It seemed to be a very close proximity battle between him and Stefano Marchetto at Paul Ricard in the opening laps, and then funny enough they both got a drive-through penalty for I believe it was track limits. Straight line speed is strong, but Adam and the McLaren are super quick round here. See things like that. I don't know exactly, because obviously I commentate, so you guys are the experts. I don't know what car's going to be quick round here, which technically I should, but I don't, because I don't race, so I commentate. So I feel like, you know, the inside information you guys give me, which is fantastic, I appreciate that so much. And I think, you know, it's going to be a very close battle, and I think, you know, going into qualifying, it's going to be thereabouts. And I think, you know, as I get the wrong camera, I do apologise, guys. I tend to get the wrong camera at the wrong moment. But hopefully we'll be providing you variation camera rolls as per usual. We will be doing, obviously, the camera we do now, and we will be doing the helicam, because the helicam is the best one for the battles. On board as well, we're going on board with a few drivers throughout the evening, when, you know, to see how well things go with their racing. It seems to be, you know, looking at certain bits and pieces, like at the moment within the lap times, just going to the lap times again. You know, Sean's just took his lap time down to a 2 minute 2 minutes point 2 at the moment. He's 0.39 of a second, and that's just like, that's pretty impressive for that Ferrari at the moment. It seems the Ferrari will be probably pushing to make sure, you know, he's going to be thereabouts. It seems to be very quick lap time. Maybe it's going to split the championship protagonists a bit and probably have it a bit more wide open, and probably, you know, to try and find out exactly what's going on. It's like when Claire said to me before, he's a bit scared around here because he's, you know, he could be potentially on course to win the AM Championship, you know, but I don't know how it could. I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but I know he can potentially win the AM Championship. I know that for a fact, but because at the moment there's 7 cars on the grid, how is that going to work? Because does he need to have the likes of Damien behind him, or a couple of cars behind him to win the AM class for tonight, and then potentially get the championship lead? It's so difficult because it's that close together, you know, to figure out exactly how to do it and to literally win the class for tonight, then to take the championship lead going into Suzuka, and then to try and get crowned champion at Suzuka. You know, what's the chance of that? You know, what do you have to do to get into to make sure you've got that title safe? That's what I'm trying to explain. But it's quite an open championship. Yes, we'll take obviously drop scores into consideration, but it's going to be thereabouts. You know, it's going to be very interesting to see what the outcome's going to be, because if you think about it, okay, drop scores is a good thing because you're dropping your worst scores, but then if you're in that close proximity, it's a weird one to work out. But I'm sure the guys will give me a bit of tips and a bit of opinions there to say, okay, it's this, it's that, such and such needs to do this, such and such needs to have a bad result, or, you know, potentially not a major disaster, because that would be not really good for the guys. It would, you know, but it's a weird process to try and take into my head, how, you know, within like, you dropping your, I think, like they're saying, that you drop your worst 2 scores. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you are listening to the stream, but it's going to be kind of, you know, within that close proximity. It's like right now, Sean's second in free practice, so, you know, that could be beneficial for the likes of Adam, but then Ash's third. You know, this could, if this was in the race format, you know, would that be something you would need to have in between, if you know what I mean? You know, like Damien's currently 6th and Clarence is 7th, so the top 2 in the AM class are 1st and 2nd, 6th and 7th, but the 1-2 in AM class. And so does that change the points, or does that mean it goes, you know what I mean? Just, if I'm waffling, guys, just tell me. I'm not going to take offence, but just trying to picture it in my head how you would potentially win a title, to try and win the title, to get that comfortable margin as such. But that's just the way it goes, I'm afraid. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen tonight, because it should be a very interesting race. Obviously, you know, Bart's now gone up to 3rd, so even though it's free practice, he's gone up to 3rd. He's got that setup on the Audi just about. Be interesting to find out their setups, but I don't think they want to trust. I don't think they want to trust the commentator with setups just yet. But I'm sure they will. But let's have a look at Bart's time. Bart's done a 2 minute point 4, so he's thereabouts. He's not far away. But then Adam's obviously now gone 1:59.0. So I think Ash is right there. He's got a 1:59.0, but I think it was a 1:59.0 flat, so it's probably a complete 1:59. But it should be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. But who knows what's going to happen for tonight. It could be a new winner, it could be someone that wants to extend their chances of taking the title to Suzuka and literally winning it at Suzuka, because I'm sure it's going to go down to the wire. I'm sure it will, but just remember, this is only free practice, so anything can happen within the times at the moment, but you know, it could be thereabouts. But with the hour-and-a-half race, anything can happen. You know, we could be thereabouts. So I believe Tug's made it, so there's the he's changed his livery from last week. Oh no, he hasn't. Or has he? I can't remember what his livery was last week. Silly me. But yes, he is back for another race. So the number 11 Audi R8 driver back on the grid. So it's nice to see him back, as well as Bart and as well as Sean. So it's nice to see guys that have come in late in the season. But as I say, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen as Mulholland jumps into pit lane for what could be some fuel, maybe some topping up. But it's going to be very close to see how well these go. I believe Damo's just joined in as well, so let's hope he doesn't eat his cereal and kill them apexes, as I like to say. It's kind of thereabouts. But it's looking very interesting to see how well he goes. Obviously Ash's brother, maybe, you know, he might try and push on and try and say, look, let's I'll try and battle with my brother tonight. Be nice if they got 1-2 for the team, because they are actually representing each other, even though they're in different style of livery, Bentley Continentals. But it's going to be very interesting to see how well things go for them. But I believe, obviously, Ash wants to win. We know Adam wants to win. I don't know whether it's been possible, or I don't quite when I say possible, but it'd be possible for an M-Class driver to win overall, but there's got to be ways they can do it. Surely if this ever settled with me, I'll be interested to find out what they can do. But be nice to see an M-Class winner try and take an overall win as well. You know, and try and the pro guys are as quick as each other, but an M-Class win overall would be spectacular as well, don't get me wrong. But we'll see exactly what Tug can do around here. He's obviously adapting very well to his racing, I must admit. Seems to be very adaptable in that Audi. The Audis are quite quick. From what I said previously about the Audis when I've gone on board, I didn't realise zero's actually neutral on the dash, which I always thought was an issue, but there wasn't. It was them going into neutral, so it does show that some cars that then trick me, doesn't it? But yeah, it's gonna be a great night. I can't wait to see how the hour-and-a-half racing is going to be panning out. Looks like Mix 64 is going to be coming in, so Giancarlo's going to be making it, the Lexus, so that's going to be good. We'll see how well things go. It'd be nice to have the Lexus. The Lexus is kind of a car that, personally to me, I've obviously never raced it, but it seems to be one of them where it surprises you. You know, he got that pole position at Oulton Park for round number 5, and yeah, it's going to be weird, mate. It's going to be weird. I'm interested to see what people are going to do around here. You know, it's one of them to be pushed. You know, I'd love to see someone try and stop the rot of the guys that are obviously won, but I don't want to be disrespectful, is what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm trying to be professional as I can, but you know, with the likes of obviously Giancarlo, who's just joined in the Lexus. You know, he put that car on pole position at Alton Park, and he was leading the race for a bit, and it just shows how well that Lexus is up against the likes of the might of the McLaren, and of course the Bentley, of course the Ferrari, the Audi. You know, it seems to be thereabouts, and it's going to be close as you can. But looking at, obviously Ash has now propelled himself up into second in practice, and it's thereabouts, but it's down to the setup, it's down to when people decide to go for taking the pit stop, because it is an hour and a half long. You know, it seems to be at the moment, who knows what's going to happen, because from what I've seen this season, obviously, yeah, okay, I missed Zolder, which I was a bit disappointed with, but I was away, and obviously I missed Bathurst. But when I saw Ash win at Bathurst, I thought that is definitely going to be, he's the car to beat. You know, sort of getting into the groove of now. He's got a championship, obviously a championship winning specification car, and he you know, it just shows he wants this so bad. He wants to win it so bad, because obviously after the end of the season, Ash is going to PC to race on PC, and it's a big shame that we're going to lose him on the grid. And he wants to win it so he can literally, you know, prove, well, the Bentley's there. You know, Stefano Marchetto won it last season. It went down to the wire, and he wants to do it again. He wants to, you know, show the Bentley can win back-to-back titles. But you know, we've seen what we've seen throughout the season. You know, it's been okay, he missed last week, but it's one of them. But you know what I mean, it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but I think Ash wants to win the title more than anything. But like I say, the drop scores may take into consideration, it may not be Ash's title, it may not be Adam's title, it may not be Stefano's title, you know what I mean? It could be, it's hard to tell who could easily take that championship. Okay, whatever happens tonight, there will be a new championship leader going into Suzuka, of course there will be, but who's going to win at Suzuka, and then who's going to ultimately be crowned champion? That is something is racking my brain. It's making me think it's not gonna leave me until I know who's going to win the title. But you know, from what I'm seeing at the moment, you know, Adam's gone like 158.7 now, so you know, is that an indicator to me to say, right, well, Adam's going to lead the championship going to Suzuka, or is he going to overtake Ash in the table and Stefano's still going to lead? But that's the thing, because it's one of them, isn't it? But I'll be back in a minute, and then we'll get ready for qualifying. There we go. So yeah, it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. You know, because the likes of obviously Giancarlo in the Lexus, just looking at him now, you know, he seems to be surprising quite a few people, especially with the Lexus RCF. It seems to be a very interesting car, especially when it's, you know, it was, I think he did win a race, I think, if I remember rightly. I'll just double check because I'm very interested to find out, because we'll see exactly what happens. But give me a second, because he is 4th in the standings, and he won at oh yeah, that's right, he won at Imola. I believe you get yeah, I believe you get 25 points for a race win, is what I'm trying to work out here. So he won at Imola, then he won at Zolder, and then he's won at the Nürburgring. If I remember rightly. I'm sure you guys will correct me if I'm wrong. But it is thereabouts. But it's see, he's 4th in the table, you know, and he's obviously had a few race wins thereabouts. He's currently 8th fastest at the minute with 2.5 minutes left of free practice before we get into qualifying. But you know, it's going to be very close to see. But then Tug's gone 8th fastest now, because it's very close. But we'll see exactly what happens with Mix 64, because I think Giancarlo's he's got the pace to do it. He's one of the outsiders for me this season, from what I'm seeing. But just looking at the times here, then because obviously Ash has now gone 159.3, so it's only 0.6 per second thereabouts. So it's going to be very close to see exactly what's happening with, obviously, technically what could be the top 2 of the championship come the end of the evening. But who knows exactly what's going to happen for round number 11, especially when they get into qualifying, because qualifying's 15 minutes and then they've got around around an hour and a half of racing, so it's going to be thereabouts. So just give you guys the helicam for a minute or two, just while Mix 64 goes out down the start finish line to complete another lap. He's gone 159.7, but I think that was actually a dirty lap. I think that's exactly what it was, but he's only got 49 seconds remaining thereabouts, so he's not, I don't think he's going to get a chance to do another flying lap there. But we'll see exactly what goes on with the Lexus, because the Lexus seems to be very adaptable around here at the moment, even though it's down in 9th at the moment. But he's got a surprise. He'll have a surprise up his sleeve for qualifying as well as the race, I'm sure. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. So he's probably going to be thereabouts. So free practice now has come to an end, and so it looks like then Adam Foster may be safe with that time. Depends on how well Giancarlo goes, but I think he may go into pit lane. But looking at the times then, free practice, it's obviously Adam followed by Ash, then Sean's quite surprised me to get into 3rd, Bart's 4th, below them 5th, so that's quite an interesting sort of from 3rd down to 5th at the moment. And obviously Damien followed by Damo, Tug versus Giancarlo, and of course Clenough. But it just shows how well things are going to go for heading into qualifying. I think qualifying is going to be the factor where it could be thereabouts, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen in a moment or two. But Giancarlo crosses the line, goes up to 3rd in free practice, so I reckon that Lexus is going to be thereabouts, is what I'm thinking. So, you know, it's going to be very interesting.